Kia ora, thanks for that. So this is an extraordinary meeting of the Otago Peninsula Community Board being held on Friday the 17th of June, and just a few minutes after 10 a.m. is our start time. So noting the first item is apologies. We don't have Paul present, but we will deal with that when the agenda arises. And we don't currently have Andrew Wiley with us, so we will note him as an absence for lateness at this stage. Next item on the agenda is confirmation of the agenda. So we only have one item for this extraordinary meeting, which is funding application, Hereweka Harbour Cone Trust. There wasn't anything else that's not currently on our printed agenda. Is that correct, Lauren?
That is correct.
Okay, any additions or changes to declaration of interest for any of us present?
No.
No, doesn't seem like it.
None for me.
No.
So I just want to note one thing from the declaration of interest, which is item 5 under item 3. Which is due to a conflict of interest, Paul Pope has withdrawn from the meeting today, and I'll be chairing the meeting. So that brings us to the main agenda item, which is the funding application for Hereweka Harbour Cone Trust.
Excuse me, Chair, could I just ask that the board move that they note the conflict of interest of Paul Pope and that he's not in attendance?
Yep, no, I'm happy to move that. Do I have a seconder?
I'll second it.
Seconded Cheryl, she had a very quick hand there.
Yeah,
I saw that before I heard any noise come through it.
Thank you.
All good.
At this stage, it might be an appropriate time for me to declare a conflict of interest. I figured that the sensible thing to do was to be at the meeting to allow a quorum if that became an issue. But I am a member of the Hereweka Harbour Cone Trust. I'm not on the trust, I'm just a member, and I'm happy to do whatever is appropriate in terms of I certainly will abstain from voting and abstain from speaking to the motion.
So Graham, you get no financial gain from being a member of the trust or have any decision-making powers of the trust?
That's correct in both issues, yes. I get no financial gain and I don't have any decision-making ability within the trust.
So I think we can note that conflict of interest, but happy for you to continue as part of the meeting. I don't see there being a conflict unless our other advisors from council with us believe my assessment of this matter is incorrect.
No, I agree with your assessment, Chair.
Okay, thanks very much. So we will note that. And we already have a motion on the table from myself, seconded by Cheryl. Are we happy to add that note to our motion that's currently there in regard to Graham's conflict being declared? All good.
Yeah, I think it should be noted.
Now, although
Lost sound.
against, I'll take that as carried. So the executive summary for the application is consistent with what was presented to us at the last board meeting. And it's a funding application has been received for the board's consideration from Hereweka Harbour Cone Trust for $3,000 to assist with signage and material for the creation of a public walking track linking the Hereweka street walk from Portobello through the top of the Hereweka Harbour Cone. Intended track will traverse the DCC-owned Hereweka block and 3 adjoining private properties. All 3 properties owners are fully supportive of the project. We've received a copy of the proposed track route and estimated costings are attached. The current balance of our project fund is $3,679.85. And my recollection of the report, but I'll flick over a couple of pages, is the total cost of the project that they're applying for funding assistance for is $6,963.94. So I will hand over to the other members for any discussion.
Well, I'll open a discussion if you like, Hawani. I would like to move that we extinguish the
go
entire
ahead, Lots.
residue. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
That we extinguish the entire amount that we have left in the of the $10,000 grant that we have annually. I've had a look at it. If we give them the entire amount, that only leaves a shortfall of about $284. At this stage of the calendar year, it's very difficult to start to think about what are we going to do with the other bits and pieces of money left over. It's a worthy project. I've had a look at the map in detail, and I spoke to the chair of the trust just to find out where things are going to be placed. The money is going to stay locally. It's going to benefit people locally. And I think it's a worthy project, given the fact that there will be cost overruns because we really don't know what the cost of materials are with the spiraling costs due to the pandemic and shortage of materials. So I'd like to move that the Otago Peninsula Community Board gives the Herewika Trust the residue of our funding left over, which is, I think, $3,679.85. And I so move.
So we have a mover that the amount of $3,679.85 is provided to the Herewika Harbour Cone Trust. Do we have a seconder?
yes.
Thanks, Edna. So that motion is open for discussion.
I totally support it. Totally. think it's wonderful.
It'll be fantastic for all the people that come down here using the walking tracks and all for locals alike as well. It'll be a much easier access.
It sounds like we're all in support of it. I too are in support of it, especially considering the amount of community feeling there wasn't behind when this property came up for sale, and that as a community we came together to ensure that it wasn't lost and was purchased. So I think this is just adding to that community initiative that allowed the Herewika Harbour Cone to come into community ownership. So I'm going to put the motion now. All those in favour of allocating $3,679.85 to the Herewika Harbour Cone Trust. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. And we will note that Paul's not present in his absence from the discussion and the acceptance of the motion. So that brings us to the end of the meeting because we have nothing else on the agenda. So thank you all for attending, and we'll just stay online for a minute while Paul completes the IT side of this online meeting. Thanks very much.